QSD from the Denver Radio Club. Welcome to the Denver Radio Club Net, being held on repeater W0TX. This is a meeting held on the air every Sunday evening at about 8:30 p.m. Good evening. My name is Jim. My call sign is Kilo Zero, Tango Oscar Romeo. I'll be your net control station transmitting from Littleton, Colorado. If there's any emergency or priority traffic during this net, say break at any pause, and the net will be suspended until the emergency or priority traffic is completed. This net is for Denver Radio Club members and all interested radio amateurs. We're here to share information concerning any ham-related activities. Regular meetings of the Denver Radio Club are held on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. And again, with the COVID-19 restrictions, we have virtual meetings, and we use Google Meets. And you can get the address to that website on our Club Internet site. That's www.w0tangoxray.org. Or if you're on the mail list, you'll get an email that has that address. And our next meeting will be on August the 18th. And it looks, from what we can tell, it may be the first of the year before we actually come back to face-to-face. We've been talking at the board meetings at some alternative sites, but we have not come to a decision as yet. So bear with us. We're working on it. Next meeting will be on August the 18th. And a number session is held at 6 p.m. just prior to our monthly meeting. This session addresses any amateur radio questions that you might have. So whether you're new to amateur radio or interested in some new application of amateur radio, this is a session where you can get help. Also, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., except the third Wednesday when our monthly meeting is held, there's a learning net held on 145.490 megahertz and 448.625 megahertz. This is another area where you can find answers for your amateur radio-related questions. As a general interest club, we provide emergency communication for the Salvation Army, City Wheat Ridge Police Department, the City of Lakewood Police Department, West Metro Fire District, and the St. Anthony's West Hospital. We're always looking for members who would like to participate in this support. Please contact our club president if you'd like to help. Our current president is Jerry Vilhauer, W0GV. Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club website address is www.w0tx.org. Again, Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club also participates in the ARRL Volunteer Examiner Program. And again, with the COVID-19 restrictions, with relaxing somewhat, we're having PE sessions a little more often, but still trying to maintain some separation and such during testing. So we try to put that out here on this net as far as upcoming test sessions, and also we list that on our website. Also, some of the other clubs will report their test sessions as well, so it seems like there's a fairly reliable list of test sites that are active here in the Denver area, so stay tuned if you're looking for some location to take your testing. And if you have other questions, you can call our BE team lead, Tom Kashowski. His call is KC2CAG, and his phone number is 720-284-1911. Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K02R serving as net control. Are there any special announcements or bulletins for the net this evening? If so, please call now. Before regular check-ins, I'd like to welcome and invite any visiting radio amateurs to check into the Denver Radio Club Net this evening. During this net, we disable the requirement for the 100 Hz PL repeater access tone, so you can use either 145.490 MHz with a minus 600 kHz offset, or 448.625 MHz with a minus 5 MHz offset. Are there any visiting radio amateurs who'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Net tonight? If so, please call now. Next, I'd like to welcome and invite any newly licensed or recently upgraded radio amateurs to check in. Please call now. I'll now take regular check-ins in groups. Please let me know if you have traffic when you check in, and I'll get back to you. First, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
Here is Delta Papa Romeo, Paul and Roar. November 0 Delta Bravo Sierra, Dawn in Denver, no traffic.
November 5 Charlie Mike Kilo, Greg in Denver, no traffic.
Whiskey Bravo 0, Alpha Kilo Victor, Rich, Westminster, no traffic.
Kilo Sierra 0 Echo, KS 0E, Alex in Denver.
WD0CIV, WD0CIV, Charles in Denver, traffic.
And net control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. I don't know if I had a double. I only was able to pick out one at the very beginning here, but I got K0DPR Paul, and actually I had N0DBS Don, N5CMK Greg, WB0AKV Rich, KS0E Alex, and WD0CIV Charles. Make second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
Whiskey 0 Bravo Kilo Sierra, this is Barb in Wheat Ridge.
Kilo Alpha 5 Delta Kilo Sierra, Ken in Arvada.
This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie K1 DBC Durone.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. W0BKS Barb, KA5DKS Ken, and K1DBC Drone. Move on down the alphabet, and radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet, please call now.
Good evening, Jim. Tom, Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor, K6HJV, Arvada, no traffic.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. K6HJV Tom, make second call for radio amateurs. Call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet, please call now. All right, we'll move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now.
Kilo 0, Kilo Papa Sierra, Kevin Lakewood.
Whiskey 0 Lima Foxtrot, Orleans, Golden, no traffic, over.
Kilo 0 Lima Alpha India, K0 LEI, Larry and Lakewood.
W0TX Repeater.
WG0N, Dave in South Lakewood.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. K0 KPS Kevin, and I got WW0LF Orland. I had a double, so if you don't hear your call, come back here with a second round. And next I had K0LAI Larry and WG0N Dave. Make second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now.
Kilo Echo 0, Oscar Sierra India, Tom Highlands Ranch, no traffic. KD0, NRO, Raid in Arvada.
Just looking at some photos here from the Oshkosh festival. Really cool thing here.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. K0 OSI Tom and KD0NRO Reed. Move on down the alphabet, and radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
Whiskey Bravo 2, Sierra Hotel Romeo, Stanton, Denver, no traffic.
Kilo Bravo 9er, Quebec Delta Golf, KB 9er, QDG, Carl, Lakewood, no traffic.
Thanks again, everyone, for watching on here. If you want to check in, or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know, and I'll pass it along to Net Control.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. WB2 SHR Stan, KB9er QDG Carl. Make a second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
Kilo Echo Zero, Romeo Victor Zulu, John in Lakewood, no traffic.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. KE0RVC John. Move on down the alphabet, and radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call out.
KF0UV, Marshall and Glendale. AC0VC, Bill and Elizabeth.
November 0, X-Ray, Romeo, X-Ray, Mark in Arvada, no traffic.
Kilo Echo 0, Yankee Kilo Victor, Bill in Lakewood.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. KF0UV Marshall, AC0VC Bill, N0XRX Mark, and KE0YKV Bill. Make a second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now.
Just looking at a photo here of people operating ham radio from the Oshkosh EA Air Venture. So worlds collide. Lots of overlaps here.
Open up the entire alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
November 0, Golf Tango Golf, Kurt in Denver.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Foxtrot Sierra Yankee, checking in. No traffic.
And Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. N0GTG Kurt and KF0FSY. KF0FSY. And could I get first name, please?
KF0FSY is Dan in Denver.
Hey, evening, Mike. I'll try to get you checked in here.
All right, thanks, Dan. Let me verify that call again. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Foxtrot Sierra Yankee, is that correct?
That is correct. Thank you very much.
Okay, when you came back with it, almost sounded like that S with an X, so I want to make sure I got it right. Thanks for that. All right, let's see, our club president is not on the net tonight, so we'll have the vice president fill in for him and go through any club business and club news we might have. K0, KPS, Kevin The net is yours.
I'll get you checked in when he comes back here.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim, for taking the net tonight. It's certainly hard to believe that today is August 1st. The summer seems to be going fairly quickly, at least from my perspective. A couple of items. Since it's now the 1st of August, we should be seeing the roundtable come out in our emails probably within the next day or so. So keep your eyes posted for that email, and it's always chock full of good information, to the club and what's going on. So keep your eyes out for that one. Jim, you mentioned that our next meeting is going to be on August 18th at 1900 hours, and our speaker is going to be Ward Silver in 0AX, who usually gives a down-to-earth discussion on grounding and bonding, which should be informative for a lot of our members. He is well-written and represents the ARRL in a good number of ventures, so that ought to be a good talk to be presented with. For those of you that are new to the club, on August 18th at 1800 hours, we do have a learning net, and it will be a virtual one. One of our members, Daron, K1DBC, moderates that hour's worth of discussion. So if you have any questions that you are having problems with, certainly bring them forward before the general meeting for the club. Also, every Wednesday at 1930 hours, the Learning Net is on the two radio frequencies that we're using tonight. So there's always a good Elmer that's on that can answer a lot of your questions, and there's some good discussions that go on at that point in time. Other than that, I don't have a lot of other club business to go over. I certainly hope everybody's having a good summer, and we look forward to seeing and hearing you on the general meeting on the 18th. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Jim at the net. This is Kevin, K0KPS.
K0KPS is K02R. All right, thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that. And I don't see anyone that indicated they had traffic when they checked in. This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K0TR, your net control station. Does anyone have any other comments, information, or business for the net? If so, please call out.
This is Daron, K1DBC, just relaying a check-in from... That's not going to work, is it?
K1DBC, this is K02R. Go ahead, Ron.
Too many buttons to push. Sorry, this is Daron, K1DBC. Just taking a check-in from online on our YouTube live stream, KE0OIT, Mike, Kilo Echo 0, Oscar India Tango, Mike.
All right. Thanks, Ron. I got to acknowledge KE0OIT Mike and checked in through the internet. Appreciate that. Make one more call. Is there any other business comments or information for the net? Please call now.
Carl, KB9er QDG. I have a comment.
KB9er QDG Carl, go ahead with your comment.
Hi, I just got a little envelope in the mail with a gift certificate from the club from the last meeting. I wanted to thank everybody, in particular the club. So, Carl, KB9er QDG.
KB9er QDG. Very good, Carl. Congratulations. Those are always nice to get. right, do we have any late check-ins? Please call now.
November 0, Romeo, India, Kilo, Rick.
And Net Control, like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. N0RIK Rick. Make one more call. Any other late check-ins, please call now.
May not be brought up, but s.t.e.m they have a expo August 14th and 15th. Check that out. Lots of cool stuff there.
All right, I'll go through and review next weekend's contest and upcoming Hamfest. And let's see, the contests for next weekend will be Batavia FT8 contest. It begins on August the 7th at 0 hour Zulu, goes through August the 8th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters. That's a digital contest. We also have the 1010 International Summer Contest. Begins on August 7th at 0001 hour Zulu. Goes through August the 8th until 23:59 hour Zulu. That's on 10 meters. That is a phone contest. Next we have the European HF Championship. Begins on August 7th at 1200 hour Zulu. Goes through August 7th until 23:59 hour Zulu. That's on 160 through 10 meters. That's a CWN phone contest. Next, we have the SKCC Weekend Sprintathon. That begins on August 7th at 1200 hour Zulu, goes through August the 8th until 23:59 hour Zulu. That is on 160 through 6 meters. That's a CW contest. And we have the 2 meter Classic Sprint. Begins on August 7th at 1300 hour Zulu. Goes through August 7th till 13:30 hour Zulu. That is on 2 meters. That's a CWN phone contest. Next, we have the 5th Saturday Sprint. It begins on August 7th at 1600 hour Zulu. Goes through August 7th until 1800 hour Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters. And that's a
Hey, glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm gonna try to sign up. I have signed up for this one as well, Mike. A lot of cool talks there. They just sent out an email. They had just under 100 talks now signed up. Amazing reach that this hobby has, and the amount of the amount of topics that are covered here.
222 megahertz and up. Distance contest that begins on August 7th at 1800 hour Zulu, goes through August 8th until 1800 hour Zulu.
Oh, you won something too. That's cool. Yeah, can't top that.
And it's a CW phone and digital contest. I think I mentioned last week the virtual Hamfest, the expo that's coming up on August 14th and 15th. That's a 2-day event. That's called QSO Today, Ham Expo, and that's sponsored by ARL, and the platinum sponsor is Flex Radio, and they've got several gold sponsors. Registration is underway now. Early bird tickets are $10, and that's up to August the 8th, and then they go up to $12.50. They've got somewhere between 90 and 100 papers, as I last looked, that covers those 2 days. And there's no way you can cover all those, but you can certainly go through and review the ones that you really want to hear. And then they give you 30 days afterwards to go back and listen to any of those that you missed. So they have a wealth of technical topics. It covers about everything you can think of. And some you might not be able to think of. So it's really I hope to be a really super event. I know a year ago it was a really great event. That was the first year they started this. And in last March they had lots of technical problems between the two internet systems they were using, and so they have got it straightened out this year, they assure us. So we look forward to that. So they actually have at least a couple sessions, as I recall, where there are build-a-thons where you can actually order kits and actually build those kits during the presentation. So they typically are, fairly straightforward. But I certainly would suggest you check them out and see whether or not that's something you'd be interested in. I don't think for the $10 you can beat the price. Their website is www.qstotoday.com. That's all one word, .com. So check it out. They'll be coming up here just a couple of weeks. So see what you think, and hopefully you'll find some things of interest there. Also, October 8th through 9th, there's going to be a 2021 Wyoming ARRL Section Convention, and that's going to be held up in Cheyenne, just east of Cheyenne, at the Archer Event Center. And they're still in the process of putting together their program as far as what speakers they plan to have and such. They do have scheduled a swap meet, so, and they'll have vendor displays as well. So it's a stand by and see when that program comes together and see if there's some interest there. I guess the other key question is, hopefully that's a Friday and Saturday. It's primarily a business session on Friday, with the actual convention being held on Saturday. So it's a single day event. And they have a fox hunt planned as well. So we'll see what all goes together when they get that together. But what I was about to say is, let's hope that's a dry weekend. No snow. And the way we've been getting rain here just of late, who knows? But we'll keep our fingers crossed. Let's see, I think yes, I got that covered. I have some more information here in regards to a couple reminders that we have. The iNoon.net, they meet daily at 12 noon with early check-ins beginning at 11:30. They meet on a frequency of 7.240 megahertz, which is on the 40-meter band. And there's been some changes here recently on the Salvation Army SaturnNet. That's held 1500 hours Zulu. That's 9 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And they meet Monday through Saturday. And that net has changed its name and moved to a different frequency. And it's called the ARMSG, the Amateur Radio Mission Support Group. And they meet on a frequency now of 14.282 megahertz. And I don't know whether the Salvation Army net then is going to continue on their previous frequency or not. We're still waiting to see whether that comes together or not. But the primary number of people that were on the Salvation Army net have moved into this other group and moved to a different frequency. So we'll have to wait and see what comes out of the SaturnNet. The Denver Radio Club maintains the following repeaters for use by all radio amateurs. A 147.330 megahertz with a positive offset, a 145.490 megahertz with a negative offset, a 224.380 megahertz with a negative offset, a 449.350 megahertz with a negative offset, the 448.625 megahertz with a negative offset, the 447.825 megahertz with a negative offset, our digital turbo repeater operating on Brandmeister on 446.7875 megahertz with a negative offset, and our C4 digital repeater on 449.775 megahertz with a negative offset. The 447.825 megahertz repeater is configured for narrowband FM, and that requires a digital coded squelch of 073. There are two repeaters on 147.330 megahertz. The repeater in Lakewood requires a 100 hertz PL tone, and the second repeater located east near Franktown requires a 131.8 hertz PL tone. We have a second repeater on the same frequency out east to improve coverage along the Front Range and into the canyons. However, having two repeaters on the same frequency with different frequency propagation, we ask that you monitor the frequency to assure neither is in use prior to making your call. The 449.350 megahertz repeater provides wide area coverage, and this repeater hosts our Echolink station, W0TX, node number 4140. And the 448.625 megahertz repeater is linked with a 145.490 megahertz repeater. Each repeater requires a 100 hertz PL tone for activation, except as noted, and each uses standard offsets. And for packet, we have the 145.050 megahertz gateway on 2 meters that is interconnected with the 14.105 megahertz gateway on 20 meters for packet QSO. And we have a 6-meter repeater on 53.09 megahertz with an input on 52.09 megahertz with the required 107.2 hertz PL tone. Your support of the Denver Radio Club is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to participate in any of the many club activities, please contact our club president, Jerry Billhauer, W0GV. And I'd like to thank everyone for checking into the Denver Radio Club Net tonight. Your support is greatly appreciated. I hope you all have a great week, 73. And tonight we had a total of 28 check-ins, and the Denver Radio Club W0TX Net is now closed at 9:08, and repeater is available for regular use. This is K0TR, your net control station. And please stand by a moment while I return the PL tone to the repeater.
PL on.
And this is K0TR. We'll be clear. Good night to all.
K0TOR, KA0VBA. Am I too late to get on the list?
Certainly not, Curtis. We'll get you on the list. Welcome to the net. Glad to have you check in late anyways.
Thank you, KA0VBA.
KA0VBA, this is K0TR, and we are clear.
All right, everyone. Thanks again for listening on here. These Sunday night nets, I don't host it. So I'm not the net control, so I don't do too much here on the video here, other than just kind of just bring up some random things here. But thanks for watching. Yeah, we'll have the LearnAnet here this coming week. Hope to see you there. With that, though, everyone take care. Have a good night.